how do I tell my children who are 14, 13, and 7 the truth about their father, who they love dearly? I, after I've disguised everything as much as I possibly could up to this point, and honestly, this is coming forth now as an effort to protect them and to prepare them for the potential and
Emily, get to
Yes.
it. You were talking in circles after circles after circles.
I know.
What did their dad do?
Well, he is currently in prison. And
child sexual abuse?
No.
Okay.
It was sexual abuse. And I was the victim.
Okay.
Of the sexual abuse.
I'm so. Hey, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is he coming up on parole?
Yes, his first parole hearing will be this summer.
Will he get it?
I honestly do not know. I feel like I have never been able to trust the system to consider me in any of the decisions. Though he did get sentenced to prison, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I am I'm having to prepare myself for him getting out. I don't see him.
How are you preparing yourself for that? Because right now it sounds like you're holding your breath.
Right now I'm really not. Right now I am more concerned about just being able to protect my kids from what they don't know.
You used a word that I want you to be very, very careful of. You used the word disguised. And that's really close to not telling them the truth. And I know you're doing it to protect them, to keep them from the hell that you went through. But in the process of helping them and keeping them safe, I don't want you to burn the last relational thing they're going to have, which is trust in their mom. Okay?
No, I understand that. And that's where finding a balance is. I don't know how. From the time they were born, I have never involved them in the arguments or the tension or the, anything going on in the home. I tried to.
Listen, Emily, they know.
Create this fairy tale for them.
They know. They don't know the specifics. They don't know the details, but they know. I promise you they know. Now I'm going to paint you a bleak picture about the path this could go on. And then I'm going to give you some hope, okay?
Okay.
Here's the bleak picture. They know. They have felt this tension for years. They've seen mom disappear. They've seen mom come up with stories about why is dad not here tonight? What is that scrape from, mommy? What happened to your eye, mommy? Like, they've been asking these questions for years. They know. But when they don't have any part of the picture, the full picture, they may never know, and that's okay. But having any sort of inkling that there's a picture, what happens is he gets out, or they visit him, or they take a phone call with him, and he can paint a pretty clear picture that mom's crazy. And your mom did this. And suddenly, in a distorted puzzle, all of their confusion and frustration and absorption of all that tension that they've experienced over the years, they get a picture for it. And the puzzle pieces lock into place. And he suddenly is able to drive the narrative. See what I'm saying?
I do. I feel like that has happened their whole lives.
It has. It has.
He's had no problem, telling them, mommy doesn't want daddy living at home anymore, to, I have never been able to say one negative thing about their dad.
Right. So here's what we're going
So
to do. This is not a conversation for you to have by yourself. You've got to get a counselor, a trained counselor, especially with the 14 and 13-year-old, and probably a play therapist with the 7-year-old. That's kind of on the border. It will depend on the maturity and wisdom of your 7-year-old. In fact, I'm thinking about my kids. I would go one direction with one and another direction with the other. But you are going to have a counselor walk you and your child individually through this conversation. And the reason we're going to have a counselor, number one, is what we have to do is do something called trying to think of a layman's term. We got to create safety. We have to teach these kids how to self-regulate when they hear everything they know about their world is upside down.
yeah.
And so there's going to be somebody that teaches both of you, and they're going to watch you breathing exercises, writing, journaling, drawing pictures, thinking of things, going for walks, catching your breath, all these things in a seeking safety protocol, so that we can get to the reason daddy's in jail is daddy hurt mommy really, really bad for a long time. And then that kid is going to hear that from a counselor and is going to look directly at you. And then that kid is going to feel shame that they didn't see it. They're going to feel shame that they didn't stop it. They're going to feel all sorts of shame that part of them is their dad. And how could I do this? Right? All that stuff's going to happen. And having them have an already established relationship with a professional therapist is critical. Okay?
Okay.
You don't do this one on your own, especially not now. If you just took one of your kids out to McDonald's and said, hey, I've got some hard stuff I got to tell you, you are going to make them you're going to so distort their world. They're going to have to run to what's safe and what's comfortable. And they're going to be ripe to be filled in with stories either way. Dad's evil. Mom's crazy. Back and forth and back and forth. I want to go with a counselor. And we're going to slow play this and say it in a way. And then at some point, they'll bring the whole family in because you'll have the what do we do now conversation. And by the way, these records down the road might be what's used in a parole hearing or in a custody hearing. Okay?
Okay.
So that when you tell that 14-year-old who's now 15 or 16, when you're 18, you can do what you want to do. Your daddy is not safe. And so I am making the choice to keep my kids safe. And I understand that you miss your dad. I miss him too. But I'm safe now.